Good morning. If you've been following this channel very long, you know that I have a lot of creative projects going on. It's probably a little bit less than what you might think because I don't show the times when I'm not doing the creative projects. So it might look like I'm always doing them, and that's not the case. At 75, though, I have found that I am more prolific in my art making than I ever have been in my life, and I am definitely having a better time making art than I ever have in my life. And there are some really good reasons for that. The first reason is that I no longer equate art making with any kind of business adventure. Now, I may sell a piece of art if you happen to find it because I'm not very good at promoting it. And I may have a show once in a while if I get really inspired to do so. But for the most part, I have separated my art making from business, and that has been extremely freeing. Now, the second reason is I paint for joy now. I don't paint for other people. I don't paint for a living. I just do my creative projects because I am expressing something inside of me, and generally it's a joyful expression. And the third thing that I have discovered in my 70s, finally, is that I am not my art, and I am not just an artist. And if I never got to make art again, I'd still be me, and I'd still have something to offer to this world. And I didn't know that was, I didn't always know that was true because I was so determined most of my life to prove something with my artwork, prove that I was talented or worthy or successful or loved. I mean, often the things I did artistically were a means of me getting attention, which I equated with love. I no longer do that. So art is not the number one priority in my life, although I do a lot of it, and I truly enjoy doing a lot of it and sharing it. There are two things that are much more important to me at this stage in my life, and the first one is having a honest, healthy, loving, supportive, caring relationship with myself. And all of those things overflow into my relationships with others. But the relationship with myself comes first. And I didn't have a clue how to do that until I was in my 70s. And I really, really, truly am grateful to be experiencing that realization at this point in my life. And the second thing that is a priority in my life now, above art, but not above the self-care, is giving. I live a simple life, but I have everything I need. And I look out in the world and I see so many people who are suffering or don't have joy in their life or don't have the necessities in their life or anyway. I have found that really the most important thing is the self-care because it allows me to have the energy to do the second most important thing, which is give to others and to my community and to the world. And to me, sometimes I do that with my art, but it doesn't have to be with my art. It can be taking a walk with a Spanish-speaking person who wants to learn English and I want to learn Spanish. So we give to each other in that process and we make the world a better place. It can be me making signs for the protests coming up and not worrying about losing subscribers who might not agree with my stance on that. It can be calling up somebody out of my past who I know is probably aging just like me and might need a voice, a friendly voice, to encourage them in some way. And so number one is the self-care and the self-loving. And that gives me the energy and the stamina to go out into the world and give to others. Because without that self-care, I am prone to injury, and I am aging, and I don't want to sit in my living room and fret about that. While I have the energy, or while I can maintain the energy, I want to go and give back. Now, I live a very simple life. I live in an apartment. It's full of all the things I love, including all the things I painted. And I really have no needs. I don't have a lot of money. I have enough to pay the bills, and that is enough. I have found at this age that there is also a great freedom in removing myself from always wanting more, and from feeling and acknowledging how much I already have and how much there is inside of me to give to others. So you see me making art probably almost every time that you tune into my channel. And I do that a lot, but I only do it a few days a week. And the rest of the time I'm doing other things, like today. I am going out and I am meeting a lovely lady I met in a Spanish class last week, or the week before. I saw her last week because we've both been going to this class. She doesn't speak hardly any English and wants to learn English and practice English more so that she can get a job. And I don't speak hardly any Spanish, and I would like to be able to communicate better in Spanish so that I can go to Mexico, and that so I can perhaps assist the people, the immigrants that are here in Portland that don't speak English very well. That's a long ways down the road. I have so far learned how to order coffee, that's no surprise, with cream, that's no surprise. And say if you introduce my aunt and uncle and my brother and my sister and things like that, and tell you where I'm from. And I'm not even sure I'm doing that right, but I am going to make that a project that doesn't have anything to do with art, but is very dear to my heart, and I work on that when I'm not doing art. So that's just a little bit about me and my art and life endeavors. Now, I didn't plan this when I got up this morning and I took a shower and washed my hair and dressed, but I put on this shirt that my friend gave me, and it seems pretty appropriate. I don't know if I'm going to show you this and it's going to be backwards. I don't know how that works. It might. Maybe I can flip it when I think I am. But it says, "You are enough." And you are. And so am I.